Hope all is well this morning. Oh, my goodness. Good morning. I hope all is well this morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is your coach, Carla Nicole. I'm so glad you're here. You have no idea. I'm just glad you're here. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. It's Coaching Matters because it does. It really does. Coaching Matters. Please be sure to share this video. I'm dedicating this particular video, I'm dedicating this morning to the ladies. And this question was asked because there was a huge amount of concern, or should I say, a little bit of concern and agitation as to what's really going on with the male-female dynamic in relationships. Why are we having such a hard time to get this right? What's going on? Can we really be honest today? So, as you know, I'm the coach that's going to give you a whole different perspective. I'm also going to make sure to give you something that no other coach is going to give you, which is a newfound awareness. It's important that we're aware in this lifetime. A lot of times we're not aware, so we're living our life pretty unaware and unsure about how to make things better, how to make things more decent. So welcome. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. Be sure to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I go live. I do want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being here. So first I want to explain to you what was the incentive to doing this video. Normally I don't say what inspired, but I am. I'm going to tell you why I was inspired to do this. So, the question was from a man that's divorced. He was married for like several years. We'll just say over a decade. And one of his questions was, how is it that women can be in a marriage that long and just jump right out of it and go into something else so quickly? Why is women's recovery from relationships so significantly different than the recovery is for men? And so I thought, well, that's a really good question. Let me meditate. Let me do some research. Let me study on this. And then let me give the answers. Because I think sometimes we see things normally from one dimension. Oftentimes I like to go a little deeper, and I oftentimes want to see something from a different perspective. It's not easy to do, but it's so important to try to not just look at something just one-dimensional, if you will. So again, his question was, why is women's recovery from relationships so significantly different, and why do women come right back into relationships without any hesitation? First of all, let me just say this, just to give you a heads up. What I've noticed personally is that if a man has been in a relationship for a long, extensive period of time, he normally has, this is just from my observation, don't take me to the bank with it, just understand this is my observation. If a man has been in a relationship for a long period of time, we'll just say 7 years or longer, which is usually a life cycle or longer, Usually if a man has been in a relationship for that length of time, I'm sorry. And once he comes out of that relationship, what I've noticed is that once that man comes out of that relationship, you ladies have about 6 to 18 months of time to get that man to really go back into being in a family unit again. If that man is not rekindled back into a relationship within that 6 to 18 months after that relationship, normally his likelihood of getting back into a full-time intentional relationship is highly unlikely. And the reason is men recover from relationships way differently than we recover women in relationships. The reason why this is most men, once they decide that they want to be in a relationship and they come into a committed relationship with a woman, it has been a lot of preparation, mindset, financially, things in place, where they want to live. All of these things are usually highly focused before he decides to really settle down with this woman. However, women, on the other hand, we don't really have that same focus, because for women, we have started working on understanding relationships really early on. What I mean by this is this: we as women have started early off working on relationships. We have been taught early, even from imagery, through cartoons, through soap operas, through toys, all of that. We have been taught that it is essential that we really focus on getting in a relationship. If you even go back all the way back to Disney, to, all of that shows young girls that you want to focus on, almost always want to focus on getting in a full-time intentional relationship. And that, my love, is a programming early for young women and girls. So when a young woman is, involved with a man and he comes into her life and she becomes his wife or his girl or whatever, and they move into this intentional relationship, be it as it may, it could be his wife or it could be just an intentional relationship. You're full-time, you are doing what you are doing, and you've decided that you and she are together, or you and he are together. What happens is that woman already is usually 10 steps ahead of understanding relationships way before men. Because why? Men are encouraged as young boys and young men to soil their oats. What does that mean? That means that men and young boys and young men are taught to get it in with multiple women. Get all of your experiences sexually as you can before you have to settle down into being just with one woman. Women, on the other hand, are encouraged to be in a relationship. And now, if you're in a relationship, ladies, don't you dare give it up. Don't give up sex. Absolutely not. That's unacceptable. We're not supposed to do that. Oh my goodness, no. Unless you're married. So all of this rhetoric is what's handed down and passed down. I'm talking about not just in the last 100 years. I'm talking about ages of this has been passed down. And so in our understanding of relationships, women are usually well aware of how relationships work. And normally, if a woman is in a relationship and she's tired of it and is ready to leave it, she usually already has her exit plan, her exit strategy, what man she's going to next, who she's planning on building her next relationship with. She already has that already laid out in her mind and in her heart. It's just what it is. So unfortunately, a lot of times men aren't aware that women are 10 steps ahead of them with relationship experience. So when a man comes into a relationship and has shut down all his sexual activity with all these multiple women just for this one woman, we'll just say, 9 times out of 10, he's decided that, you know what, I'm good. I'm just going to settle down with her and be cool. And that's fine. But a lot of times that's a lot to give up in his mind and heart. And then it gets better. He also has to now figure out what his financial new responsibility and burden is going to be being with a woman. Then don't forget, as soon as we are going down an aisle and deciding to get married and all of these things, we now want to encourage the couple that just get married. Listen, the marriage license isn't even, the ink isn't even dry yet. At the wedding reception, the whole conversation is now about, when are you guys having a kid? When are you guys having babies? When is the babies? When are the babies next? I can't wait till you guys have a kid. So now you and she are in a relationship. This man comes into a relationship. He shuts down all his sexual escapades and decides to physically be present in that relationship. He now sits down and focuses 9 times out of 10 on his financial responsibility of taking you on. Now you guys, after a year and a half, or we'll just say a year and 4 months, everybody's encouraging you to hurry up and have a kid. So now, quote unquote, 2 years is long enough to be just with you and him. Now it's time to get busy on the babies. When are the babies coming? And all this other stuff. So now here comes the children. And the burden of having children is real. Not just is it real because of financial, but it's emotional, it's psychological, it's very, very hands-on when you're a parent. You have to do a lot of work, and you have to prepare those children to go out in the real world and get the taste of, real life, the truth. So when he asked me, why women recover so quickly, I had to explain to him, well, the reality is this. Most women, if I'm honest, when they come in a relationship, they're in a relationship because that's what they're taught to be in. And because of that programming, a woman doesn't feel that she is truly, really in her highest potential if she doesn't have a husband. Women who are single have to really silence and relax all of the conversations around her value not being worth anything when she doesn't have a husband. Because really, societally, it's looked at that the woman, something's wrong with her, she's alone. Why aren't you a wife? What's going on with you? What's wrong with you? Why aren't you married? Oh, you're one of those independent ones. Oh, okay. I was wondering what was wrong with you. It had to be something wrong. So because of our forced programming early on is that we are supposed to be a woman that is clearly in a relationship with a man full time. And so if a woman decides, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore, I think I would rather open myself up to just being alone. I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. I think I'm good. Okay, well, then what? Well, you and I know that if a woman is not on her A game and not in a relationship, they're going to start looking down their nose at her. Here's what's true. Here's why women get right back into another relationship quicker than men. is because 9 times out of 10, she doesn't really know how to navigate without one. In the back of her mind, she's thinking, I'm not at my highest potential if I don't have a mate, if I don't have a husband, if I don't have a man. And so that's why she recovers so quickly, unfortunately. I hear you, Eric. So that's why it's so important that we focus and we pay attention to what it takes to sit down and look at, okay, men, this is the truth that you need to focus on. When you are in a relationship with a woman, I'm here to let you know that if you're in a relationship for, we'll just say, like I said earlier, a life cycle, which is usually 7 years or longer. If you're in a relationship with a woman 7 years or longer, and it dissolves, you separate, you're no longer together, what then happens is that that heartbreak is very similar to the puppy love first heartbreak you get when you're young, because you decided to commit to that woman. And in that decision and in that commitment, you really have found that, okay, how do I get away from being so headstrong on now changing and transforming into my new found reality? Well, the truth is, a lot of times men don't realize it, but we have to be honest, gentlemen. You didn't have a whole lot of experience with relationships. You did have a lot of sexapades, but as far as having a lot of relationships, you didn't have that. Now, for you ladies, I want you to hear me. This is very important for ladies. Ladies, because we have been taught and have been encouraged to be in relationships, we actually oftentimes believe that our real value is our vajayjay. So we actually use it as a bargain chip. We use our vajayjay as a bargain chip, and we use it as the cherry on top in relationships. We don't want to admit it, but it's true. When we don't get what we want, we shut down intimacy. We begin to play with the sex. When we don't have our way or we don't get what we're desiring, we shut down the sex as a bargain chip. And when we do this, it's not a good thing. Here's the delusion. A lot of us as women, we believe that our sex is our highest valued experience in the relationship that he could possibly engage in and enjoy. But that's not true. Here's what's real. As long as we dangle the sex, our vajayjay, our availability sexually, as long as we dangle that in front of the man and play with it and do all these games with sex, we're not only cheating the relationship, we're cheating ourselves. Because to be all the way honest with you, intimacy is not just good for the man, it's good for the relationship. It's good for you and it's good for him. When you exchange sexual energy, you become more creative. You get a clearer mindset. You have more enjoyment, more freedom to really find that it is really a joy in being with that person. But again, we aren't honest with self. We think that if I dangle the sex and play with it, I'll get my way. If I dangle it and tell him, well, I'll give it to you if you marry me, and he marries me, then what is up with all these men reaching out to me as a coach and telling me, man, coach, she's not giving it up? What do you mean? Aren't you married to her? Yeah, man, but she moved out the bedroom, man. She's in the other room. We don't have sex. Pardon me? Excuse me? I'm sorry. Come again? I'm confused. Nah, she's not giving it up. Or every time I turn around, I'm trying to get some. It's no or not tonight. Pardon me? I'm confused. Well, maybe what you should do, my love, is reconsider being in that relationship, because what she sold you, which, like I said, she used her sex as a bargain chip, and she was shaking it around like, hey, if you get with me, you'll get this, and she lied to you. Then maybe there needs to be some renegotiations in how the flow of that relationship is going to go. If you need some help with that renegotiation, you'll have to get a session with me and I can clear that up. Because a lot of people can't even imagine what I would tell you to do on that scenario. So anyway, just understand that you playing with your sexual energy is not working for you or him. Number one. Number two, a lot of times women, seem to believe that a man entering inside of you is the greatest thing since sliced bread for him. However, especially if men have had a lot of experiences, you're not the only one he's ever been inside of. With that said, understand you, rather than being like, look at how good I am and look at how good it is, you need to be thinking about, I am being so present in this now and am going to be welcoming to his entry. Him entering into the womb is supposed to be your joy. We constantly think that, all sex is for men, and that's not true. If that's how you see it, then you need to do some studying on what it really is. Because if you're unaware, let me put you up on game with something. A woman can have an orgasm 4 different ways. Go through my timeline and you can find that video where I'm very clear on how that can happen. Now, back to what I was saying. It is not just about the man. Intimacy is about energy, and it is also about the sexual exchange. When you are exchanging sexually, you're actually inheriting creative energy inside your being. When we are creative, here's what's true. When we start to tap into our creativity, we start to birth our skills. When we start to birth our skills, we start to figure out what our inborn talents are. When we are exchanging sexual energy, this is what it does for us. When we start to tap into our inborn talents, what happens is that we start tapping into our gifts. Our gifts are our pointers towards our purpose. Get what I'm saying? Our gifts are our pointers to our purpose. We have been misguided as women to be primarily focused on being in a relationship. That has been our main focus since young. However, the biggest distraction is being solely focused on being with a man and being in a relationship. Our main focus should be on finding why we are here on the planet. What are our gifts and talents? How can our gifts and talents point us in the proper direction of why we're here, our purpose? When you are in a relationship with a man and you are intimate, it's actually helping you to rejuvenate your own personal beauty. It's to rejuvenate your energy. It is to get you excited about life. Bringing you to pleasure is the best thing you can possibly have while you're here. We oftentimes don't realize that our power comes from our sexual energy. It has been such a corruption. We have done so much to really make intimacy foul and wrong, or making it more than it should be about. I don't have to marry every man I've ever been with. That would have been catastrophic, if I'm honest. Did you hear me? That would have been catastrophic had I married every man I was ever intimate with. I'm just honest. So let's be honest here. When we look at what intimacy really should be about, it should be us actually finding out what is our creative energy pulling from our spirit after we're intimate with that lover. It's not about giving him nana. It's not about, yeah, I gave him some and all that. You're corrupting what it is. You both benefit from sex. It's not just a man thing. It's not just a chore thing. Just because you're in a marriage or an intentional relationship, it should not be looked at as your chore or duty. In that thinking alone, you are finding yourself really diminishing the true value of what it is. When you sit down and look at it, intimacy brings you to a newness, a renewal. The more often you're intimate, the stronger your connection. Here's why we say things and we don't think about what we say. We see all these different people out here and all these different celebrities that are power couples and they're doing all these wonderful things. And oh my goodness, I want to have a man like what she has and all this stuff. But what they don't understand is power couples are having a lot of sex. I'm going to say that again. Power couples have a lot of sex. They do. Sexual energy is what helps the relationship stay vital and vibrant. And then when you exchange sexual energy with a person that you are caring about or in love with or enjoying to be in love with, in that relationship, there builds this beam of light in your exchange, in your magnetism that you share with each other. And so what that means is, oh my God, I never knew that intimacy is such a beautiful thing. Yes, but you have to also remember when you're intimate, there are beams of light. How do you think we procreate? In intimacy, from sex. How do you think we procreate? That's coming from the creative energy, the exchange, the in and out, the push and pull, the joy, the energetic vibration. All of that comes from us really wanting to be in that space together. So when you have all of these inhibitions, all of this, I don't know, I just don't want to do it, all of that stuff in your mind, it's corrupting you from enjoying intimacy in its true, honest form. We were gifted, when we were born, we were gifted sexual energy as a human form, as a joy. Not from us to corrupt it and put rules on it and regulate it and say what it is and how we're going to get money for it and all of that. That's corruption. We've tainted it. We've corrupted it. We've caused it to be what they call the nasty. We've caused it to be disgusting. And what that's caused is so much confusion, when actually it should be a fusion of generated energy to where you and he or you and she are really enjoying each other. Again, intimacy isn't just one-sided. It's not just for the man. It isn't. And women, your whole value and all of that doesn't have anything to do with how good your vajayjay is. No one at a funeral stands before everyone and says, I'm going to miss her because her vajayjay sure was good. Nobody does that at a funeral. Nobody talks about a woman's vajayjay because that is not her highest value. What do they talk about? How she was treating people. They talk about how selfless she was, how wonderful, cooperative she was, how engaging she is, how she cares about people. They talk about those things, not how great her vajayjay is. And so I'm just helping you to see that we need to get off of this thinking that that's where our value is. It is not. Stop dangling it as a bargain chip. Stop telling men you can't have it unless you do this. You can't have it unless you got this. Why are you doing that? You're stripping yourself from true joy. You're stripping yourself from really understanding what your real purpose is. Exchanging sexual energy with a true, honest connection, with a true, honest person that gives a care about you, is to help you to enhance your creative energy inside your soul and inside your spirit. This is what sex really is for. And creating children. However, no one has ever told you that because most people are so big about corrupting it or making rules on it or telling you how you shouldn't do it or how you should do it. Like I said, young boys are encouraged early on. Get you a lot of girls, man. How many girlfriends you got? And then girls, you know what, girls? You need to keep those panties up and dresses down. Really? Why are you teaching the boys this and the girls that? That's going to cause a lot of confusion. And it has. Because now I got the grown people as clients telling me how confused they are and how one is in the other room and she's not giving it up and I can't get it even if I paid for it and I do all this and that to try to get her to give me some and she don't want to do it. What is this? What do you mean she doesn't want to do it? She don't want to give it up. She's mad at me. So you only get sex when she's happy? Doesn't she know that's the best attitude adjustment? Is when she gives it up when she's angry? What's she thinking? The best time to have intimacy is when you are frustrated and angry. Because guess what? It really helps to bring forgiveness to a different degree. And then both of you are happy. Both of you are exhausted and tired and sleepy. But guess what? You both are full of climatic energy. And now once you wake up, you might find out you woke up your talents. You know what? I haven't knitted in a while. Maybe I need to come up with a way to do some knitting. You know what I haven't done is I haven't done any crafting. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. You know, I haven't wrote in a while. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. We got to get off of trying to throw out sex like it's a bad thing. Intimacy is very good for the human soul. It is. For the living soul. It's so good for us. However, a lot of times we can't even see past the truth because we're so caught up in what a man is not doing and he should be doing this and he should be doing that. And ladies, be honest with yourself. It comes a point where we got to stop saying that sex is just about the man. If that's how we're seeing it very wrong. Sex is about each other. Sex is a very good attitude adjustment. Sex can bring you to your newness. Sex can help self-esteem. Let a man rub you down and see how anger just goes away. Let a man rub you down and see how the anger just goes away. And you're like, I don't even remember what I was mad about. I was so mad when he walked in the door. He picked me up, threw me over, and next thing I know, I don't even remember what I was mad about. Probably him not putting down that toilet seat, but I got over it. Put it down and was happy. Got me a real good sleep. And now I'm ready to get busy on my crafts so I can get to my purpose. I'm trying to help you ladies, and I'm trying to help you guys. Understand, men, this is why women recover easier. They've had a lot more practice with relationships. It's true. They've had a lot more practice. I promise you they have. Unfortunately, you have not had enough relationships to where you can actually say you were intentional with them. I mean, it's fine that you had some, girls that you might have been cool with for a couple of months and stuff. I get it. Or you've had some relationships where you were together for like maybe a year. But that's not an intentional relationship. Real relationship experience comes from 7 years or longer. Seven years is a life cycle. 7 years is a life cycle. And when you actually take the time to really learn, oh my goodness, I've been in this relationship for 7 years. Now I've learned something about someone else. I've learned how to prioritize someone else besides myself. That's being selfless. That's having some type of compassion for someone other than you. That is also showing mindfulness about someone else. All of these things is what it takes to understanding in relationship, but a lot of people don't know that. Because they don't know how to prioritize someone else outside of themselves. And this is why, my loves, a lot of us are having a hard time with seeing so many men frustrated and fed up with wanting to get back into the dating pool or get back into being open to having a relationship again. But the reality is they didn't have a good first time experience. You remember the old saying that anytime you almost drown in the pool, they tell you to get right back in it. I'm going to say that again. You remember when you're young and you almost drowned in a pool, they always tell you to get back in it. Why? Well, if you don't, you will build a belief. And when you build a belief, your belief will stick to that. By seeing other people's failures as your confirmation to why relationships aren't good or why relationships aren't healthy or why relationships aren't worth it. When you almost drown in a pool, they tell you to get back in the pool immediately. Matter of fact, don't give yourself any time to really remember that I almost died here. That's the same intelligence we have to apply to relationships. But I'm seeing so many men now that has just been fed up from the floor up. They don't even want to involve themselves or allow themselves to be open again to love, to making a woman his priority. Because his relationship that he had in the past didn't go so well. He lost a lot. Not only did he lose his family, he lost his financial backing. He probably lost his home. He lost a lot of things. And so, because he took so many L's in the last time that he had a woman that he decided to give up everything for, and he found out, man, she just walked away and went right into another relationship. And here I am, really in a grief-stricken situation. I'm really still hurt. She's moved on. Like I didn't even matter. I'm just helping you to understand. A lot of times these men don't understand that it's not that you didn't matter. It's just that her recovery is totally different. She sees love affairs, relationships differently. Her pursuit of relationship is different. She's going to be in pursuit of having one, no matter what. It's a programming. This is why most women talk about relationships. This is why most women are so consumed with relationships. This is why I always say I can't get through to a woman's mind until she gets her purpose in alignment. Until I can't reach her because she's so consumed with I gotta have a man in my life. That's the only time I can actually sit a woman down and get her to focus, is when she's like, oh, I need to be in pursuit of my purpose, not in pursuit of a love affair. Yes. Absolutely. You need to think about your purpose, because as long as you stay consumed about having a Ken and your Barbie, as long as you think about I gotta make sure I gotta make sure I have that soap opera love. I gotta go back to love and basketball and have me that too. I gotta have all these relationships because I don't have it. As long as you're stuck in that thinking, you'll be stuck in that thinking. And whether or not the relationships are successful or not, you'll stay focused on that relationship. It'll be your number one focus. You won't care about anything else. And unfortunately, it's not healthy at all. Unfortunately. And we see that it's just a mess. We have to sit back and pay attention. Realize this. Purpose is first. We really don't teach our children properly. We spend a lot of time, once they become teenagers, to get them in their little cute relationships. We think that's so cute. The cheerleaders are with their football players and all that stuff. We're so excited about it. Then, oh my God, my daughter's got a boyfriend now, and he's so sweet. He takes her here and takes her there and buys her this. They go on their little dates. That's so cute. And then the next thing you know, they're deciding to move in together. And they're playing house. And then they're having children. And then they decide, well, you know what? I think I want to get married. And then they get married. And then they have more children. Never thinking about purpose. Never encourage purpose at all. But we want to make sure we encourage them to have those babies, though. Well, he's got a good job. Oh my God, he's got a good job. So he'll be able to afford to take care of baby and her. I mean, he'll be good, and she works. What is her purpose? Encourage your daughters or your men or your young sons to find their purpose. Stop telling these young men to go out here and have all these sexapades, and not tell them or encourage them to find their purpose. We're telling young minds, and let me just explain, the human mind isn't fully developed until 25. The human mind isn't fully developed until 25. We are asking 20-year-olds to make lifetime decisions to get married and have children And their brain isn't even fully developed yet. Their brain isn't fully developed yet, which means they're using underdeveloped brains to decide who they want to share their life with. Our life expectancy is 77 or more. We're asking a 20-year-old that has not developed in their mind yet to make a 50 to 70-year decision? We got to do better. And then we're asking them to have children. You guys got me started. We got to do better, babe. We got to think about this on a different level. We've got to tap out of thinking certain things so we can tap into purpose. Young women that have these children, they're mothering before they're ready. Their mind's not even fully developed yet. And if they haven't been parented by a woman that was a mother, they're really handicapped. Raising up another child that's not going to be mothered. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Make sure to talk to your girls, your friends. Share this video. Share this video. Talk to your girls about this. Because I think we're off kilter here. We're giving too much value to the vajayjays. We're giving too much value to the sex. Then we're curtailing it into making sure that we have what we want based upon if we're sexing or not. In the meantime, not sexing is causing us to lose our focus on our creative energy and what we are here to do. Sex is supposed to help us with building our creative understanding of self. If we don't, we find ourselves very, very frustrated with a lot of attitude. And this is why. I'm here to tell you. You don't want to be stuck in this vortex. Don't forget to share this video. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. Don't forget what I said. Make sure to subscribe. Again, ladies, don't forget what I told you. Stop dangling your sex as if it's a bargain chip. Your sex is not a bargain chip. You benefit from sex just as much as him. And if you have a really good partner at it, he's going to help to generate your creative energy. In your creative energy, you will see quickly, oh my goodness, I'm inspired to now go and get that knitting stuff that I need to get at the store, get the needles, get the stuff that I need to do, and get back to my crafting, get back to my writing, get back to me being my higher self. That's what sex is for. Stop dangling it like it's a bad thing. It's not. We have been duped and told incorrectly that sex is a bad thing. It isn't. Trust me. I'm out of here, guys. Enjoy your weekend. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. I'm signing off. Best kept.